round 6 of the 2014 FF1M season, and it comes to you from the tight and twisty streets of the Principality of Monaco. And we've got the full Yorkshire army with you because I'm being joined by both Courtney Cass from Shake and Bake.
Hey up.
And also James Whiteley from Exolite.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad,
That was the
thanks.
most Yorkshire intro ever.
Let's start off with you.
Now then.
Let's start off with you, Courtney, first, because Sebastian Vettel is on a roll.
He is. I mean, I don't want to play up my involvement in it, but it is down to a few genius decisions by myself. I'm winding you up. I'm honestly blown away by how well my season's going. I was not expecting this.
Holds 6-point lead over Lewis Hamilton, and a further 4 back from Nico Rosberg, who sits third. And we've got you here, Whiteley, because you won this race last season with Alonso.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, before was it Willows nicked him off me again? Yeah, I think it was Willows. Was it? It was Willows.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen again. I'm having an okay season, but last season was really good.
Well, you
considering I was my comeback. I'm fourth.
Currently sit fourth on 23 points, with Sergio Perez the highest of your two drivers on 13 points.
He seems to be. He seems to be the better performing driver in the last couple of races. Perez. Kimi's made a right hash of it. I don't know what Kimi was doing in Spain. Was it Spain? I think you only.
Portugal.
That was Portugal. Sorry, yeah, that was terrible.
Tell you what, folks, a lot of soft tyres.
Developing them.
Oh no, this is practice. Sorry, this is practice. I thought it was showing like the.
Oh, hang on.
Hamilton
What people were going to be starting on. Yeah.
So it's Hamilton topping the first practice and Alonso topping the second practice. And let's have a look at the grid, because Willows are not doing too well at the moment. Had both cars retire from the last race. So a 1-2 on the grid looks good for them so far, with Alonso ahead of Rosberg by 1,000th. And I'm the highest placed Yorkshire team this time.
What's this? Jenson Button in third? What's going on?
And Magnussen in sixth as well. Vettel fifth.
I guess it's Monaco.
But look up in fourth, Jean-Eric Verne for the Tornado team. They had a good race last time out, and having struggled so far, that'll do their confidence a lot of good.
K-Mag sixth for you as well, yeah.
And Hamilton down in 10th.
Oh wow, what's happened there?
I'm not too sure. The car doesn't seem to be working on the Monaco circuit at the moment. Where has Exolite gone? There they are, 13th for Kimi.
13th.
Ricciardo in 14th for the Shake and Bake. And Sergio Perez 16th in the other Exolite. I technically sit last in the championship, by the way.
It's not been good.
No, I've had bad reliability, and car works on certain circuits but not on others, but it's working better so far. I'm crossing everything, both my fingers, both my toes, and
both
everything
testes.
else. Yes, those as well. Kobayashi last on the grid, so that's not good for Gojira. They'll have to have a good race. So here we go, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the usual pause before 5 lights go out. And it looks like Alonso's gotten away well, Rosberg similarly so, and it's going to be Willows 1-2 through Saint-Devote. Button's going to hang on to third, with Verne fourth, Vettel fifth. I think they've all maintained station at the moment. Top 8 as you are. Alonso, Rosberg, Button, Verne, Vettel, Magnussen, Grosjean and Bottas. Into the Mirabeau they go.
Interestingly, running 90 laps instead of the usual 78.
Running the full 300 odd kilometres for this race. They did that last season as well.
I think they lasted in the real F1. They used to do that in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, didn't they? They used to have about 90 odd laps at Monaco.
Yeah, I wonder when they shortened it from 90 to 78. Was it when they put the swimming pool in?
Maybe. I'm guessing it was late 60s, early 70s.
Possibly going through the Nouvelle chicane, or the seafront chicane, nearly contact between Raikkonen and De Resta. And they're all fairly single filers, and Andrew F1 going through the barrier. It's Massa versus Al Jaswari, and struggling for traction at the exit. He's just lost the position to Kobayashi, so Massa all over the place on the blue ringed hard tyres. But it's Alonso from Rosberg and Button as they complete lap 1. Through Saint-Devote they go.
Surprised nobody's put it in the wall. All very clean start, pretty much as you were from the grid.
exactly as you were between the top 8, possibly top 9, 10 or so. Let's see what happens as the 89 laps to go. Very professional from me. Alonso on softs. They've seen what the other runners are running. I think Rosberg's on softs as well. What are you running, or can't you remember?
I can't remember. No, I think probably softs for this.
Yeah, I think I've taken the softs for this race as well.
Yeah, I think this might be the first race that I put the softs on, unless I put them on last race. I think I was on mediums last race. Imagine if a real life team boss was there. So what tyres are you running? Can't remember.
Through the swimming
Whiteley,
pool.
I'm sure you'll remember what tyres you're on, Whiteley.
I've no idea, and the screen is so jerky that I can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, for me, I'm getting about 1 frame a second. But...
Yeah, not looking good from our end, but so I'll have to try my best to keep you updated on the action. Alonso pulling away from Rosberg at this stage. We're expecting 2 to 3 stops for the entire field, so let's see what everyone does. Hamilton's up to 9th, so he's moved ahead of Suttil from the first lap or so. Let's see, the rest of Raikkonen. Raikkonen's gained a position off of Sebastian Buemi at the start, and through Mirabeau, through Lowe's, and
I don't think I'm going to copy last year's win, unfortunately.
And here we have a look at Lewis Hamilton going through Anthony Nogue's corner. Whoa, nearly hitting the wall. Here's Hamilton, and now he's going to come under pressure from the horizon of Adrian Suttil. And then Alonso going through Sandy Vaught on lap 12 now. Got a lead of 2.6 seconds over Rosberg. Button 5.5 back, and then Verne 8.7 back. So the gaps are fairly consistent and even between the top 4. Top 5, in fact, because Vettel's a further 2.4-ish seconds. So they're all just sort of maintaining the gap at the moment.
You guys are doing all right, yeah, with Button in 3rd.
And Magnussen up in 6th as well. Magnussen has scored my only points so far, and that came in Australia. Button has had a nightmare.
Yeah, Button's
he's very aggressive in this, isn't he? Button in terms of FF1M. Yep. He's the kind of the opposite of the real Jenson Button.
Yeah, not as you expect. Now we look at Vettel.
Why is it showing Vettel?
Courtney is nervous because it's showing Sebastian Vettel going through the swimming pool, and coming out of the swimming pool, it looks okay so far. Now into Raskas, he has locked up a bit, and into the Nogue's corner. Oh, he tagged the wall, but he's gotten away with it somewhat. Now he's got Kevin Magnussen up his back. Magnussen looking up the inside into Sandy Vaught. This is for 5th position, and side by side, but Vettel just about hangs on.
Magnussen got a bit of wheel spin on the exit there.
Possibly.
A change of trousers needed for me, though.
Can I ask you a question, Courtney? It's been bugging me. Your car shape, is it the 2007 Ferrari?
No, I think it was the 2004 Ferrari. I
don't think so. No, it's got the front, like the double front wing. It can't be the 2004 Ferrari.
It might be the 06 Ferrari then.
Maybe.
It's a Ferrari of some sort.
Have you been supplying him with customer cars?
I think I don't even know what chassis. I think mine's the 2005 Ferrari, but I might be wrong.
I feel like we have this debate every time.
But last year mine was a 2004 Ferrari. This season I think it's the 2005, which makes sense, I guess. But
if I may interrupt you two, because Fernando Alonso is in the pits for his first of probably 3 stops, because this is quite early, lap 21, into his mechanics, which match the overalls.
It's a nice livery, that.
Apart from the little green gloves, add the style as well as the uniformness.
The green gloves to match the dashboard on his steering wheel. So Alonso rejoins in 5th position, just about behind Magnussen. What on earth was going on there? I think he chopped in front of Magnussen a little bit, but that's 5th for Alonso. Rejoined behind Vettel. Not quite good news as Raikkonen comes into the pits for his first stop, as does Daniel Ricciardo. So the Yorkshire crew are at it for both of you two.
Yorkshire.
Kubica and Maldonado also into the pits. So there'll be 3 stopping. That's doesn't say much about their race pace, but then again, this is Monaco. Bottas into the pits, who's having a very good season for GRM, who he currently sits 4th in the championship. 2 podiums, and 5th in the championship for GRM.
Looks like the swimming pool bug is not an issue now. It's on GP4.
Because in the 2012 season, they were smashing into the chicane, and some were actually going through the barrier. So this is Rosberg.
Was that at the chicane after the swimming pool, or the actual swim? At the chicane after the tunnel, or at the swimming pool chicane?
After the tunnel.
Yeah, right, yeah, because I remember them going through the wall and stuff there. Yeah. But I thought that was GP4, not GP3.
Yeah, it's GP4.
Yeah.
So Rosberg exits the pits, 6th position behind Magnussen, but pit stops are well and truly in force. Is another one. It comes from Sergio Perez. And Alonso versus Vettel. Now, Vettel hasn't stopped yet. Is he 3 stopping or 2 stopping? We'll have to find out within the next bunch of laps. Somebody has crashed at the chicane, I think. Who has done that? Let's see what's happened. Hard to see from the moment. Yet.
We're arriving there now.
Probably be a...
So there's yellow flags. Oh, that is Hamilton, isn't it? Or is it Kobayashi?
I think it's Hamilton.
Kobayashi.
That was Kobayashi.
Gearbox failure. It was definitely one of the Gajeras anyway. Ooh, false alarm.
I thought I saw a flash of purple on the helmet. I was like, oh.
Very similar helmets. There's Button into the pits for his first stop. Both cars running very wide, Vettel and Alonso.
I thought Vettel was in the wall, Anthony knows there.
And Verne into the pits as well. So Vettel takes the lead of the race at the moment, and I suspect he may be running a 2-stop strategy because there's no sign of him coming to the pits as of yet.
Yep, could just do with holding up Alonso for as long as possible now.
Yeah, although his tyres looked a bit shagged because he ran very wide at Massenet, and now he's going to come under pressure a little bit.
Oh, he's going... Ooh, I thought he was going to go for it.
There would have been a brave one going into Mirabeau. There's Magnussen lurking in the background as well, and there's still yellow flags at the chicane, so they're still clearing away Kobayashi's car. As they exit the Portier through the tunnel. Not close enough this time.
Blaney's doing pretty well.
Doing not bad at the moment, although he literally just made a pit stop.
Yeah.
And there you can see the fuel gauge compared to how many laps he's done, so Vettel is definitely 2-stopping.
Go on, son.
This could make the race fairly interesting between Vettel, Alonso, and look at Rosberg closing up as well. He was 8/10 quicker on that lap.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to have a very wide rear on that shake and bake now.
Wide rear, which matches the Love Honey sponsorship.
Yeah.
Through the Mirabeau goes Sebastian Vettel, and Alonso still lurking, and Hulkenberg hasn't stopped either, so he's one that's probably on a 2-stop strategy.
I haven't even seen an Exo light in the race yet.
Saw a brief glimpse of Raikkonen versus Di Resta on the first lap, but apart from that, they're running in 15th and 16th.
Yay.
Hamilton all the way down in 10th as well, so it's not been a good race for the Gajeras, with Kobayashi out.
I wonder if it's a chassis thing.
Possibly. I mean, I did quite a lot of aero work in Portugal in the practice sessions. So that's
but aero shouldn't make that much of a difference at Monaco. It's more mechanical. It's mechanical grip that you need.
Well, I tested something anyway. The testing to improve grip levels of me FJR, and it's worked so far. We're up in 4th and 8th as we have a look at Hulkenberg, who has got Grosjean all over his rear, but Hulkenberg is due in the pits this lap, and this should be 2 stops for the Mitchell driver. And will he get into the pits because Grosjean was right up his back through Rasgas? Indeed he does. He's on the hards, so a 2-stop makes sense for him. I forgot what Vettel was on.
Yeah,
I'm going video blind with all this, with the frame rate on this.
Yeah. we're being... Yeah, for me and Whiteley, whilst we're commentating on this, it is pretty jerky. I'm getting about 2 frames a second now, so it's
I'm getting about that.
It's a slight improvement, but we're not being very professional here. I'm sure everyone else can see it completely fine, so we're just complaining about it like
I'll sort that out in post-mix. So Hulkenberg rejoins. He's taken on a lot of fuel, and I could not quite see that in the end. Here's Rosberg. Oh, Vettel versus Alonso at the chicane. Now that was something.
Well played,
I think they got away with it.
And there's Jensen Button going through up into third position as well. So what happened at the chicane? Well, we've seen it from Button's perspective. This is going through the left.
Somebody parked up there.
That's Kobayashi. That's parked there.
Okay.
So they've.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's definitely Kobayashi.
I thought he'd have been pulled, like craned off the circuit.
They've pulled him off to a relatively innocuous place. That's what I'm going to say.
It looks like Seb must have made a mistake there or something, but still managed to keep him behind.
And now look at the top 4, top 5 possibly, because Jean-Eric Verne only 3.9 seconds behind Vettel, the leader. So it's all closing up so far.
And I am indeed on softs with Vettel.
There's the red ring. Button also on softs.
The red ring of doom.
So going through the tunnel, this is exactly 1/3 distance now. What's going to happen this time? No such problems for Sebastian Vettel this time. Into the Tabac goes Vettel, Alonso, Button, Rosberg. And lurking up somewhere is Jean-Eric Verne in the improved Tornado for this race. Meanwhile, Grosjean sits 6th ahead of Magnussen and Bottas. That's your top 8 for the moment, and nearly contact once again between Alonso and Vettel as we start lap 31.
Long way to go yet.
And Vettel due into the pits this lap. So can he at least hold Alonso off? Where is Vettel going to rejoin? Because all this holding up means he's going to rejoin quite a way down the order.
It's beginning to remind me of the 2011, was it 2011 Monaco?
Yeah, and these exact top 3 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't remember who was 4th at that point. It was Sutil before, or Kobayashi. Kobayashi was 4th at that point in the.
That was a great race until Maldonado ruined it by crashing and causing the red flag.
It was Petrov.
Crashed?
Oh, was it Petrov? My mistake. Oh, sorry, Pastor.
I think Pastor was probably involved, but
he just made an overtake on Petrov actually, and then it was Sutil, and then Sutil clipped the barrier there at Tabac, got a puncture, and then Al-Jaswari rammed up Hamilton.
Because it was so frustrating, because it was such a good race, but then they could all change tyres, and that just ruined it.
I felt really sorry for Maldonado. As into the pits comes Vettel.
I thought he'd been T-boned sideways then.
Not quite, but into the pits comes Sebastian. Up on the jacks, and mechanics overalls black.
Yeah, my pit crew looking very swanky.
They're trying to match the lines. Who knows?
The lines are like deep purple, though. They're not black. They're kind of like a
And
really
10th
that'd be
place.
an interesting livery, black and purple. That would be quite cool.
I haven't seen a purple F1 car yet.
No.
Needs to be utilised. But Sebastian Vettel rejoined way back in 10th, and behind a Horizon, I think that's De Resta. But he's on the newer tyres, so let's see what he can do with this. But into the pits for the second time comes Fernando Alonso, bang on half distance. So into the garage with the nicely matching overalls of his mechanics. And see the fuel going on board. Another 21 laps, so that should take him to about lap 67. And I think my team are ready for Magnussen, as Roman Grosjean comes into the pits from 5th/4th, depending on what the computer thinks. Somebody's had some sort of incident at the chicane. Let's see who it is.
Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo's out of the race, so that's one of the shake and bakes gone.
Oh.
That's his second.
So it must have been a contact with somebody?
The barrier, possibly. Let's see what happens.
Inside wall.
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
And taking advantage of that are both the Axelites.
Hee
two races in a row that he's put it in a wall now, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and up until Portugal, Shake and Bakes were on a 100% finishing record.
Yeah.
Jensen Button leading. Courtney's depressed now.
No, I have I don't know, I have kind of a one driver policy. I'm not going to shit on Ricciardo like I did with Maldonado, but
You're not going to use him to, as a doormat to let Vettel, so he doesn't dirty his feet getting out of the car.
It's not going to be a doormat. It's going to be the thing that you put underneath the doormat to stop the doormat getting dirty.
One of them draft excluders.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And anyway, Jenson Button and Nico Rosberg coming into the pits from first and second, so this should put Alonso back into the lead. 5.2 seconds for Button, that's a quick stop. And 5.7 for Rosberg. Not quite as quick, but still pretty rapid. And out of the pits, now in second position, comes Button, as Alonso retakes the lead of the race. In comes Bottas. And here's Jean-Eric Verne, who's got Sebastian Vettel right behind him. Vettel...
Go on, Sebby boy.
Into Sandy... Oh, that's a tight one, but Verne hanging on around the outside. Proven very difficult to overtake in Monaco, as expected. As into the pits
I don't
comes...
think... I can't... Has there been one single actual overtake yet? I can't even recall seeing an actual...
Hamilton balked by the Tornado. So that's not going to do Hamilton's race much good. It wasn't good so far, but it's got even worse.
Looks a bit chunky, the front of that Gajira. Is it just me?
Yeah, it looks a bit... It looks... The big wide tyres, but it looks like a narrow track.
It looks a bit chunkier, the nose cone, than it does on some of the other cars.
We've got yellow flags down at Mirabeau, as Hamilton tags the back of Hulkenberg and shunts him off into the Rascasse barrier. So that's a very rude overtake for ninth.
I think Hulkenberg's okay, though. I don't think there was any damage.
No, I think he'd be okay, but why were the yellow flags at Mirabeau? Suttle's had an electrical issue, so he's making an earlier than usual final stop, I think. And that's not enough fuel to take to the end. And Vettel is due into the pits this lap. Don't think the two-stop strategy's worked out well for him at all.
Just doesn't have much race pace for Elise, Seb.
No.
Now the three stops was clearly the better option in that respect. As he rounds the portiere.
If he finishes fifth, I'm happy with that. Just need to keep all these lot behind.
Well, if he does finish fifth, with Hamilton way down the order, he would extend his championship lead. So, yeah, damage limitation in a way, would you say?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd be happy with fifth. I just wanted to bring it home now. Please don't put it in the wall whilst I say this. Whenever it shows Vettel, and I just assume he's going to put it in the wall, but I think he's going to make a pit stop now, is he?
Yep, the indicator on the left indicates that he's coming into the pits for his second and final stop. Was running in fifth at that point, just ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Both FJRs working a lot better in this race than in previous races, so I'm a happy boy. So far.
I'm not.
No, both Exolites not really working on the Monaco street circuit.
No.
Suggests to me that your car's more suited for the straight lines of Hockenheim and Monza. Maybe.
I'm not saying anything.
He's not giving much away.
He's giving a look, though, that says that aerodynamics are for losers.
The Ferrari.
Enzo Ferrari got it right.
The Ferrari philosophy.
Yeah, if you're doing it wrong, if you don't have so much horsepower that you actually blow your engine, you just.
If the torque isn't so great that the acceleration rips off the driver's eyelids, then you need more power.
Exactly.
That was the Gran Turismo 4 philosophy as well. If what you do if the car is going too fast, put more power on it.
Yep. Put more power and just hit the walls and bounce off them.
Absolutely.
I used to do that in the rally stages. There was one there was Pikes Peak car, and it just had
the
so much
Escuda
power,
Pikes Peak.
Yeah, and I just tuned it within an inch of its life, and I just didn't take corners anymore because I didn't need to. I just bounced off walls.
Meanwhile, we're looking at Fernando Alonso, who's got way too many cars in front of him for Joseph Willow's liking. There's Felipe Massa, who's the first one he's going to come across. The Andrew F1's not particularly working well on this circuit either. So we're seeing a right mix of performance as the season goes along.
Suppose I suppose the car in front is on hards. Might be something to do with that.
Possibly, although the tyre mechanics are very confusing for me. I know you got to develop them, but I don't know how much by.
Yeah, I think maybe it was a bit early for me to go onto softs. Ah well.
It seems to have worked out for some, but not for others. Up the inside into the mirror burr goes Alonso versus Massa. That's compliant enough from the Brazilian. Next one looks like a Mitchell. It could well be Hulkenberg. Round in the Portiers, Button is 5.7 seconds behind Alonso at this stage. 0.3 quicker, so not gaining as much as he would have hoped in the traffic, but still looking for his first points of the season. He probably would be happy with that. The yellow flags at the Mirror were Kubica, who suffered what I assume would be a mechanical issue because he's showing us out of the race. And Nico Rosberg crashing out!
Oh, Bottlberged.
And exactly the same as Ricciardo, I assume. Let's see what happens as he exit the tunnel. Through the left. Oh, that's exactly the same as Ricciardo.
He's been Mr. Consistent, hasn't he? Tell you what, some of these cars have left that technology behind for the last couple of years that allows them to drive through that wall.
Now, I think I was the first one to discover that as well.
Yeah.
With Kimi Raikkonen.
So
who does...
The barrier shifting technology.
Senna, in the 1984 Dallas Grand Prix, Senna retired from a race because he was adamant that the barrier moved, and he was actually correct.
Really?
Yeah, the barrier actually did move.
Wow, yeah. I thought that was a typical racing driver's excuse.
No, it was because he was so consistently, he was leaving no time on the table, so he was sat like centimetres away from the wall every lap, and then someone else hit it, and it moved, and then he hit it because it had moved.
Wow.
So so that happened.
He's the only driver who can get away with that, with saying that. Yeah. If anyone else said it, you just laugh them out of the room. Like.
I swear the wall moved. As Alonso comes into the pits for his final pit stop, and on come new softs, and there's Button as well into the pits, so the two leaders. And out of the pits comes Alonso, no problems. Button, slow getting the left front on.
Horrible stop.
With Rosberg's crash, that puts Jean-Eric Vergne in good contention for a podium finish because he was third before making his final stop. And in 7.4 seconds, that's a slow stop. But anyway, Jenson Button out of the pits and still in second position ahead of my teammate. Button's teammate, Magnussen.
Go on, FJR. Oh, right. I thought it was... Yeah.
We saw the exact same thing. That's Magnussen versus Grosjean. That's not a recommended driver pairing for battling on track. But anyway...
Be no more in 2021.
Nah, that'll be a shame, but anyway. Alonso.
That's pretty much sums up the entire F1 paddock. No Grosjean and Magnussen. Anyway.
But yeah, back to the action as Alonso is right behind Sainz, I believe that is. Yep, it is Sainz. 13th place for the Spaniard versus Spaniard, but not for position.
Tell you what, Alonso's had a wretched season so far.
3 points scored in the first 5 races.
Yeah, he's been like it was the season before last, where he just kept yeeting it into the wall.
He seemed to go all right last year. He was the main point scorer for XLI. No!
Sergio Perez has crashed out. And that's into the casino section. Transmission failure, so...
okay. He can keep his seat.
His head's come off, look. You see that?
Well, that was going to happen when he got down to the pits anyway.
So with 3 laps to go, it is Fernando Alonso who holds a fairly comfortable 8-second lead over Jenson Button. Jean-Eric Vergne is in 3rd, and Sebastian Vettel is now in 4th position, so he's kind of made the 2-stop strategy work, but ultimately I don't think it's the correct one in this long race at Monaco.
Yeah, probably
there haven't been that many reliability. You don't think that 90 laps of Monaco would be a bit of a car breaker, but yeah, I think there's been one reliability problem.
We
2?
just saw Perez have a mechanical issue, and
Yeah, I think there was one other.
Kobayashi, and
Kobayashi, yeah.
a bit unknown what happened to Kubica, but we will find out what happened to him at the end of the race. Meanwhile, we've got Grosjean in 5th, who is just a second ahead of Magnussen. So Magnussen needs a bit of a push if he's going to get that 5th and his second point score of the season. Bottas runs in 7th, the consistent Bottas in the consistent GRM, because providing Bottas and Sainz finish this race, which it seems likely they will do, then they'll have a 100% finishing record, which is quite impressive.
99 awareness Bottas there, showing a...
That's Sainz we're
did you
looking
get?
at.
Did you?
Yeah,
no,
it's the F1 game, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, did you hear about, Bottas got 99 awareness. He wasn't shocked by that, though, he saw it coming.
They made Bottas better in stats than both Ferrari drivers, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, which is... Yeah. Anyway.
He's driving for a top team, so it could have warped it a bit. But who knows? The developers.
I'm guessing Hamilton had the best stats.
Yeah. I imagine so.
Be interesting what they give Alonso when he's back next season. Yeah.
I'd have put Alonso's awareness in the high 90s.
They have to add a new stat for Alonso, and it's the ability to chat shit, and that'd be 100.
A new stat: relationship with team.
Yeah,
temperament
-100. Yeah,
temperament. I think he'll be a lot more sort of. I think a bit of time away will probably calm him a little bit.
Yeah, he says he's not expecting 2021 to be a stellar season. Bless you. And he's more preparing for 2022. I seem to remember Alonso saying something like that.
Yeah, he said that in the first year with McLaren, though, didn't he?
Look what happened.
Yeah.
Nah, because there's
no, but Renault, it's a good time. Yeah, I mean, Renault are looking good, so yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah. And good luck to Alonso as well on this final lap, who's still stuck behind Sainz, but not. I think he's just pacing himself a bit. Either that or Sainz has actually got a good car. Doesn't make sense as he nearly lapped down. But anyway, coming out of the tunnel, Fernando Alonso just needs to navigate this treacherous chicane. He's done that. And just a few more corners to go now before kickstarting.
Oh, and is that the FJR in the background on fire?
I was looking away at that point as well. Don't do that to
me. This to serve me right.
I would laugh. To serve you right, Vettel put it in the wall.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, commentators cursing yourself there. Yeah. But out of the final corner now comes Fernando Alonso to take his first victory of the season. Needed that one after a difficult start to the season. Well done.
I'm actually quite pleased about that. Having, he feels like he was the main part of my good season last year, so I'm happy to see Alonso get a win.
Yep, and I'm happy to see Jenson Button up in second after his difficult start to the season as well. So coming good at Monaco, oddly enough, because I was expecting to be good on the quicker circuits like Hockenheim and Monza. And well done to Jean-Eric Verne as well. Proved that he had a good car for the weekend and sticking it third.
Grosjean up there again as well.
Yep, that makes up for his suspension failure in Portugal.
Good by the Grosjean and the Pedersen. Good result. Fifth.
And Vettel up in fourth, so he'll extend his championship lead, will Sebastian?
Yeah, I'll take that. Take that any day of the week.
Absolute shite result for me. 11 for Kimi.
11 for
Might
Kimi
as well not turned up.
And a transmission failure for Perez. It was Magnussen and Hamilton and Bottas. Bottas and Hamilton completing the point scorers. And fastest lap as well for Alonso, so he's done the Grand Slam. Pole, win and fastest lap.
Shame he doesn't get another point for it.
And Kubica suffered a loose wheel in the end, so I assume that would have been after a pit stop.
So technically 3 reliability issues.
And 2
still
crashes.
Compared to Could you imagine this race when it was when the start of last season, when the reliability before AJ put it right down?
Yeah.
We had about 5 finishes.
Interestingly enough, nobody ran the mediums. It was either softs or hards. And here's the championship standings. We've got Vettel still leading, now 10 points from Lewis Hamilton, and Rosberg still stuck on 34 points. Bottas now 20. Grosjean now moves up ahead of Sergio Perez, as does Fernando Alonso. So, looks like there's some development to do. And both my drivers in the top 13. Now I'm happy.
Go on, that chair.
And in the constructors,
blow up.
Shake and Bake versus Willows.
Yeah. Do you know what? I did not expect to be doing this well at this stage of the season. Can't believe I'm actually top of the constructors and I've got 2 drivers scoring points. It's crazy.
It's going well for you, Toto.
Yeah. I think everyone else is the favourite.
Well, anyway, that was the Monaco Grand Prix, which saw Fernando Alonso win. Can he do it at the next race? We visit Mexico for the first time in a long, long while. So
I was going to say, will they have the old was it Peraltada?
Well, we shall find out. From the 3 of us, we'll see you soon.
I'm going to ruin your outro again.